Okay, so have you ever noticed how sometimes, like when you're networking,
Right.
it can feel like
Yeah.
you're just stuck in an echo chamber?
Yeah, like the same voices, same perspectives over and over.
Exactly. So today,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to deep dive into this really fascinating world of what's being called middle powers
Yeah.
and why connecting with these middle power leaders could be a total game changer
Huge.
for your network, for, all kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating to me
Yeah.
how much attention we always give
Right.
to the same, handful of countries.
Like the big players.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The traditional power players.
Right.
And we kind of forget that there's this whole other group of nations who are really quietly becoming major forces.
Yeah. And we're reading this
Yeah.
really thought-provoking piece by this global strategist, Sophie Krantz. And she makes this argument that a lot of us, especially in the West, are missing out on huge GE opportunities because we're not paying attention to these middle powers.
Yeah, she makes a really compelling case.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
How much of the global discussion is, it's just the same.
The usual suspects.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then you've got this whole other layer of leadership emerging in countries like,
Okay, so let's back up for a second.
Sure.
When we say middle powers,
Right.
what exactly?
Yeah, good question.
What are we talking about here?
So these are nations that, they might not be like
Yeah.
the superpowers,
Right.
but they still have significant influence on the world stage.
Okay.
And here's the kicker.
Yeah.
Their combined economic power, if you adjust for purchasing power, parity
Okay.
already is bigger than the U.S. economy.
Wow.
And projections show that by 2029, their economies could grow by another 50%.
That's huge.
It's massive.
Yeah. What's driving that kind of growth? I mean.
So Krantz points to a few things.
Okay.
First of all, they've got these booming middle-class consumer bases.
Okay.
So people have more money to spend.
Right.
Second, their tech sectors are advancing so rapidly.
Wow.
So there's all kinds of innovation happening.
Yeah.
And then third, they've got tons of untapped markets.
Oh, interesting.
So lots of opportunity for, collaboration and investment.
So they're not only kind of flexing their muscles on the global political stage.
Yeah.
They're also becoming
Totally.
economic powerhouses.
Yeah. And here's where it gets really interesting. Krantz argues that these middle powers are kind of deliberately charting their own course.
Interesting.
Remember that quote from former Indonesian President Joko Widodo?
Yeah.
He said, "We refuse to be a pawn in a new Cold War."
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah, so they're not interested in picking sides.
Right.
In these global power struggles,
Yeah.
they're like, we're going to do our own thing.
Right.
We're going to forge our own partnership.
Forge their own path.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So, I mean, from a very practical standpoint, why should someone in business care about connecting with leaders in these middle powers?
Well, you've hit on something that Krantz really emphasizes.
Okay.
It's not just about
Yeah.
doing good.
Right.
It's about doing well.
Okay. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So for one thing, these countries represent the markets of the future.
That makes sense.
Right. So as their middle class expands, so does their purchasing power.
Yeah.
So if you can get in on the ground floor in those markets,
Right.
that could give your business a serious edge.
It's like investing in the next Silicon Valley before it explodes.
Exactly.
Yeah, get in there before everyone else figures it out.
Precisely. But beyond just the purely economic argument,
Okay.
there's a deeper layer here
Okay.
that relates to how we build our networks.
Interesting. Okay.
So there was this fascinating study published in the European Sociological Review.
Okay.
And then they looked at how our social networks actually shape our views on income inequality.
How does that?
So
Let
basically,
me into this.
yeah, so they found that
that's
people who
right.
primarily interact with others from, similar socioeconomic backgrounds, particularly like upper middle class, were less likely to support policies
Interesting.
aimed at reducing inequality.
Yeah.
It suggests that, staying within our comfortable bubbles
Right.
can lead to a very limited worldview.
So if we're only networking with people from similar economic realities as us, we might miss out on understanding the needs and perspectives of a vast portion of the global population.
And that has huge implications for business. I mean, imagine you're only brainstorming with people from developed economies.
Yeah.
You're missing out on a whole world of
Right.
innovation and creative solutions that could come from engaging with people who have different experiences.
Right. Different challenges.
Yeah, exactly.
Different approaches to problem solving.
It's like that saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
You got to get out of there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need that diversity of thought
to
really come up with groundbreaking ideas.
I love that.
And this is where Dunbar's number comes in.
Oh, right. Dunbar's number.
Yeah.
The idea that we can only maintain like 150 meaningful relationships at a time.
Yeah, about 150.
Because our brains just can't.
Yeah, our brains just can't handle it.
Right.
And what's fascinating is how this connects to something Malcolm Gladwell observed about companies. In his book, The Tipping Point, he noticed that when companies grow beyond like 150 people,
interesting,
their productivity often starts to decline.
Why is that?
Because the informal interactions
that
really build trust and understanding start to break down.
Yeah. You just can't keep up with everyone.
Yeah, you just can't.
On a personal level.
Right.
So there's a connection between Dunbar's number.
I think so, yeah.
And the point at which companies start to lose efficiency.
It really highlights the importance of quality over quantity when you're building a network.
Right.
Especially in a global context.
Okay.
If you're trying to build meaningful relationships with people from different cultures, you've got to be strategic.
You can't just add, 1,000 contacts on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly.
Call it a day.
Yeah, you're not actually building relationships that way.
Okay, so it's not about just collecting names. It's about cultivating, genuine connections.
There's people who can offer you different perspectives and insights. And that's what Krantz is really driving home.
Yeah.
She's not just saying, add a few middle power leaders to your LinkedIn and call it a day.
Yeah.
She's calling for a real mindset shift.
Okay.
She wants people to actually include these leaders in their inner circle.
Wow.
To see them as potential mentors, advisors, collaborators.
Okay, so how do we actually do that?
Right.
How do we move beyond those kind of superficial connections and build genuine relationships with people from different cultures and backgrounds?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
And that's what we're going to explore next.
Yeah. It really does come down to a shift in perspective. We're so used to thinking about global engagement in terms of traditional power dynamics.
Right.
But these middle powers are kind of rewriting the rules.
Yeah. They're not looking to replicate the models of the past.
Exactly. They're bringing
their own unique perspectives and experiences to the table.
And that's where the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah. And, it's not just about business, is it?
Right.
It's about building bridges between cultures.
Totally.
Understanding different ways of seeing the world.
Absolutely. And that can be a challenge, right?
Yeah, for sure.
How do you build authentic connections with people who might have completely different cultural backgrounds, different communication styles.
Different ways of doing business.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's easy to say go network.
Yeah, just go network.
But when you actually try to put it into practice, it can feel kind of daunting.
Yeah, where do you even start?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So Krantz offers some really insightful advice on this.
Okay.
She says a good starting point is to just be curious.
Okay.
Be open-minded.
Yeah.
Approach these interactions with a genuine desire to learn and understand.
So it's more than just showing up at a conference.
It's not about just
right or two.
Transactions.
In one of these countries.
Yeah. You need to actually invest the time in getting to know people, understanding their perspectives.
Right.
Building trust.
Exactly. It's about going beyond that surface level.
And sometimes those connections can come from the most unexpected places.
Oh, give me an example.
Okay, so think about India's booming film industry.
Bollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this global phenomenon.
Huge.
So maybe you connect with someone over a shared love of cinema.
Right.
And that opens the door to conversations about cultural exchange, storytelling, maybe even potential collaborations in the entertainment industry.
Or maybe you bond with someone over a shared passion for soccer.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Brazil, Argentina. Yeah.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
These are countries with a deep love for the sport.
Huge soccer fans.
I mean, those kinds of shared interests can be so powerful.
For sure.
In breaking down barriers.
And building rapport.
Right.
And Krantz points out that, these kinds of connections are especially important when you're trying to build trust across cultures.
Right.
It's not just about, understanding the business landscape. It's about understanding the human landscape.
That makes me think about something else Krantz touched on in the piece. This idea of positive sum outcomes.
Yeah.
What does she mean by that?
So it's this really powerful concept that goes beyond the traditional win-lose mentality that we often see in business.
Right.
It's about moving away from this idea that, for one person to succeed, someone else has to fail.
Right.
Instead, it's about
seeking out collaborations where everyone benefits.
So it's not about one party coming out on top at the expense of the other.
It's about finding solutions that create value for everyone involved.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And Krantz believes that, connecting with leaders from these middle powers is key to unlocking those positive sum outcomes.
On a global scale.
On a global scale.
It makes you wonder what kinds of amazing things could be accomplished if we all just shifted our focus from competition to collaboration.
Totally.
Especially with these rising nations. I mean, imagine the innovations, the breakthroughs.
The societal advancements.
Yeah, the societal advancements that could be achieved.
It's really exciting to think about. And, it's not just about business partnerships either. We're talking about tackling some of the world's most pressing challenges.
Yeah.
From climate change to poverty to technological inequality.
These are huge issues.
These are huge issues that require global cooperation.
Right.
And these middle power nations are going to be essential partners in finding solutions.
Okay, so we've established that connecting with these leaders is important.
Yeah.
But for someone who's maybe a bit intimidated by this idea of building a global network, where do they even begin? What's a good first step? It can feel a little overwhelming at first. It's okay, where do I even begin?
Where do you start?
Do I need to book a flight to Jakarta?
Yeah.
Should I start learning Portuguese?
You laugh, but those aren't bad ideas.
Right.
But seriously.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that daunting.
Okay.
Remember what we said about Dunbar's number?
Right.
Focus on building quality relationships, even if it's just a handful at first.
So instead of trying to connect with every single person.
Yeah, don't try to boil the ocean.
In every single middle power nation.
Right.
Maybe start with just one or two countries that particularly interest you.
And don't feel like you need to reinvent the wheel.
Okay.
You probably already have resources at your fingertips.
Okay.
For example, a lot of universities have alumni chapters.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or networks.
Okay.
In countries all over the world.
I bet my alma mater has a chapter in Brazil I studied.
There you go.
Abroad there for a semester in college.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a great starting point.
Okay.
Reach out to them, see if they have any events or programs coming up.
Cool.
Instant connection point with people who already have that shared experience.
Okay. What if you don't have that kind of alumni connection?
What if you don't?
Any other tips for finding those?
Professional organizations are another great resource.
Sure.
Lots of industries have international chapters or they hold global conferences.
Yeah.
Look for opportunities to attend events or join online forums where you can connect with people from the regions that you're interested in.
So many good ideas already.
Right.
It's not as scary as it seemed.
No, it's really not.
At first.
You just got to be proactive and resourceful.
I love it.
And I cannot emphasize this enough.
Okay.
Be patient.
Right.
Building trust takes time.
Yeah.
Especially across cultures.
Especially across cultures.
Don't go in with the expectation that you're going to close a deal.
Yeah, don't expect to.
Or land a partnership in your first conversation.
In your first interaction.
Right.
Focus on building genuine rapport.
It's not about
showing up at an event and...
It's not a numbers game.
Handing out business cards. Well, it's a competition.
It's about nurturing those relationships over time.
Over time.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
People love to talk about their cultures and their experiences.
Yeah, show a genuine interest.
Learning. Exactly. And I imagine being willing to share about your own culture and experiences is important too.
Make it a two-way exchange.
Exactly. It's about building a bridge, a connection based on mutual respect and understanding.
And who knows? Those conversations might spark new ideas.
New collaborations.
Yeah, new collaborations.
Even friendships.
Yeah.
That could change your life.
I love that. Yeah. It's about so much more than just building your career or growing your business.
Right.
It's about expanding your worldview.
Totally.
Embracing diversity.
Yeah.
Contributing to a more interconnected and prosperous future for everyone.
Well said.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what this networking in the middle idea is all about.
Yeah.
Recognizing that the future of global leadership is not going to be dominated by a few select countries.
Yeah.
It's going to be shaped by this beautiful tapestry of voices and perspectives from all corners of the world.
And by connecting with those voices.
Yeah.
By building bridges across cultures and continents.
We tap into this incredible wellspring of innovation, creativity, and human potential.
Couldn't agree more.
So, to our listener, I encourage you, take that first step.
Take that first step.
Reach out.
Yeah, reach out.
Connect. And see what unfolds.
See what unfolds.
The world is waiting.
The world is waiting. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Into the power of networking in the middle.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Keep exploring.
And keep connecting.